And the Oscar goes to Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
The year was 1998, and this was the moment childhood buddies Matt Damon and Ben Affleck broke into the big leagues.
I just said to Matt, losing would suck and winning would be really scary, and it's really, really scary. We're just really two young guys who were fortunate enough to be involved with a lot of great people.
But they were just getting started. Their careers intertwined for years. But to co-write another blockbuster, that would only happen 2 decades later.
Jacques Legris entered our home. He attacked me.
Set in 14th century France, the film is based on a true story about a woman who was raped and risked her life to tell the truth. And to tell this story authentically, the partnership needed to grow. So enter Nicole Holofcener, writer, director, and herself a student of Martin Scorsese. I sat down to chat with all three, remotely, of course.
Must be nice to not have to travel, Andrew.
Yeah, well, truth be told, I wouldn't have minded flying out to see you guys in person, but we make do with what we've got.
Frankly, I found the class, rather elementary.
It's been an awfully long time since you both, if I'm doing the math right, almost a quarter century, right? Since you wrote Good Will Hunting together, and you're working on this project, you're starring in it together. I can only imagine it must be, as a working relationship, either wonderfully efficient or terribly inefficient.
That's funny. Actually, we've run the gamut. I think when we started out, we were terribly inefficient, and that's what kind of put us off writing. We never thought we'd have enough time to do it again. But just kind of by osmosis, by making movies for 25 years, we've kind of figured out structure. And how these things are structured, and so we actually we're pretty efficient this time, and Nicole's really fast too, and we wrote the script.
There's also a difference when you're writing and it's just you and your friend, but bringing in a writer you really respect, who you feel like is a real writer, and you have to do it in front of her. You kind of you sort of you sit up a little straighter. At least Matt did.
Definitely.
I'm terrifying.
And our child's fate will be written not by God's will, by which old man will tire first.
Nicole, this is a film that is told in 3 main parts, right? 3 perspectives. The 2 main male characters, and then perhaps most importantly, the female character, Marguerite, whose part you wrote. What was the pressure like on your shoulders to make sure that you get that right?
If I thought about getting things right and felt pressure, I wouldn't be able to do anything.
I want him to answer for what he has done.
You have to just free yourself up. I freed myself up to create a character that, through some research, I learned about how educated she was and how many languages she spoke, and that she did speak out against, being raped and risked her whole life. I did want to honor her story and get it as accurate as I possibly could. But I also felt free to, try things and give her, life that is not written about.
I say before all of you, I spoke the truth.
And Matt, it's easy to think of what you folks do on screen as performances, but I imagine there must be a point where it does start to feel personal in a way too. I'm a dad, so I've got 2 young girls, 7 and 4. I know you're a dad too. You've got girls.
Well, I think what really appealed to us was looking at this, understanding the culture, right, which we directly evolved from, and understanding that this woman wasn't even seen as a person. A woman was considered property. Right, and obviously for us, what are the vestigial aspects of that system that remain with us today? That's without making the movie a TED Talk or a lecture or making people eat their broccoli. It's just something we want people to reflect on and think about. And I think the film does a good job of bringing up a lot of really interesting things to think about and talk about.
I decided who was guilty. One of the real pleasures for me was, I kind of collaborated with my eldest child, who's female, and gave her the script at various stages and asked for her feedback because she's very interested in these issues and mindful of this stuff. And one of the things that she said to me was I think we are more interested today in a story that's about the complications and nuances of consent rather than a story about like a man climbing in a woman's bedroom, breaking into a woman's bedroom window. In other words, like conversation's really important and relevant, but has also evolved to a place where we're exploring other aspects. And it was just an added satisfaction for me as a father to be able to have my work connect with my children and hear feedback. That was really, really joyful.
And my kids were like, "You're working with Matt and Ben?"
Bull. They're like, who?
Yeah, right.
I will not be patronized by this squire.
You and Matt have been friends for an awfully long time. Watching the film, though, I mean, you play characters that despise each other.
It was fun. I mean, the movie's themes and subjects are not fun or funny, but there is something absurd and sort of funny about the degree to which men compete and their vanity and their egos. Matt's character was, in fact, just not well liked. I mean, just loathed. He was not a guy who people wanted to be around or liked. So I wanted to sort of play into that to help fuel the dynamics that are part of the engine of the story. And yes, it was also fun to have Matt have to kneel and bow and scrape because it's a lifelong goal of mine.
I'm getting all those text chat pings telling me, time to wrap, we're out of time. So thank you so much genuinely for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.